What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Trade Thrive Podcast. In this episode, we are jumping in the Breakthrough series where I sit down with Jeff. He is a software salesperson turned painting contractor, and he's wanting to run his painting business and also maintain his software sales job. So we dive into the dynamics of what it's going to be for him to be able to just focus on sales and marketing and have someone else handle production. Really interesting episode. Excited for you to dive in to this conversation. Welcome to the Trade Thrive Breakthrough series. In these episodes, you're going to find contractors just like you dealing with real life, real world, real business problems. I'm going to help contractors break through the barriers that are stopping them from growth. In these episodes, you're going to find that these same problems that you're dealing with in your business are the same ones that other contractors are dealing with as well, and we're going to get to the bottom of them. So tune in and get excited because the Breakthrough series is happening now. All right, cool. All right, welcome everyone. This is the Business Breakthrough series. I'm here with my friend Jeff. He's been awesome and jumping in with us, getting this going. And first, I'm just going to ask you a couple questions, Jeff. Why don't you tell us a little about where you are in your business right now? What does the day-to-day look like for you? I know that you're in the early stages, so this is good. So tell me what's going on.
Yeah, sure. So we're very, very early stages. Really just launched last month. And, started up with the website creation and getting the branding done,
Right.
starting the roots of a business model. We did our first job last week. We just finished on Sunday. We have a couple quotes out right now, working on lining up the next job, but really trying to get all the systems and processes in order.
Yeah. So the good news is that, you're not in a paint truck right now. You're actually, looks like you're in an office or something like that. So what is your role in your company?
Yeah, sure. So some background on me really quick. I work full time in software sales, in enterprise software sales. And this is, I've always wanted to do something entrepreneurial. Really quickly, the reason behind starting the company, a few things happened, but my wife and I and young daughter, we moved into a house in June in New Jersey. And, we needed like 3 or 4 different odd jobs done around the house, HVAC and carpet and
Yeah.
the service. Yeah. Oh, but I'm logging on to Google. I'm looking for the first 2 or 3. I'm reaching out to them, and it's crazy. You don't hear back. You don't. People came to my house and said they were going to give a quote and just never got back to me on quotes. And I compare this with what I'm doing day to day. I'm working in enterprise software sales where we're giving them white glove service and we're walking them through these deal cycles and totally different. And so, yeah, I think there's an opportunity in the service business to just deliver really good customer service, and always wanted to do something entrepreneurial. So that's what brought me here.
Sort of cool. So you come in kind of with the same, I would say approach that I did when I first came in was business first, customer service, all that stuff, production second, which I usually am in the position of teaching people who are production first to actually learn what you already know and what's natural to both of us from our experiences to actually be sales and customer service first, production second. So, but that also leaves you with the challenge is that you have to figure out how to produce jobs. So what's that been like for you?
Yeah, so I really am still learning a ton. I started from scratch, and full disclosure, I've never painted. I'm subbing the work out. I have a couple people I know in the business and a couple people that I found and just working out the kinks of that. But I had a lot and still have a lot to learn about the business. But I think the most important thing, and we talked about this a little bit, just getting a system in place. So, we did the first job last weekend, and I have a whole list of things that could have
went wrong, went good, went bad, right?
Right. I mean, at the end of the day, I got a great text from the customer, and she was really happy, and they're thrilled with how things came out. But behind the scenes, there were 5 or 6 or 7 different things that just got to iron out the details of. Because right now, I'm putting a lot of time into it, and I'm fine with that for now. But the goal is to get to a place where it's more passive and it's running itself.
Yeah, and that's possible. It is. And just kind of before we dive into some of the details, are you at a point where you are planning on kind of like leaving your software job, or is this something that you want to keep as some sort of side hustle? What's the goal in that regard?
I would like to keep it as more of a side hustle. I mean, listen, we'll see where things go. I'm not leaving the software job anytime soon, but I think for now, if I can, I've always wanted to do something
Of your own.
Of my own, right? I mean, I've dabbled in real estate and I've done a few different things, but I've always wanted to take a stab at this. I turned 30 in August and had like a
An
early
epiphany.
midlife crisis, I guess, and said, let me just,
Yeah. A baby will help with that.
that's right. Yeah.
Will help with that.
Um,
So all that to be considered. What I'm looking at right now is somebody who knows sales, who knows marketing, who has good customer service skills. Okay, but the production aspect is where many people in that regard fall short. How are you maintaining tabs on production while you're working?
it's a great question. So
And is
that's,
it stressful?
yeah, yeah. And that's probably the biggest thing I
Yeah.
need to iron out. I
Right.
mean, at the end of the day, I think, I have this urge and this tendency, not tendency, but I want to put up this facade that I know what I'm doing.
Right.
Especially when it comes to, I gave a quote last night. I'm in a customer's house. I'm by myself. I didn't bring any guys with me. But I think like at the end of the day, I just have to be really transparent with them. And if I don't know something, I can't pretend like I know it,
Right.
because it's going to come off as disingenuous. It's going to bite me in the butt.
Right.
So when I don't know something, admitting I don't know it, and then learning about, I didn't even know what cutting and spraying, all this stuff I'm learning, I didn't know
Yeah.
a month ago. So I'm
Yeah.
really
So
starting at,
why the painting business? What out of all the trades? So you had all these experience with each trade. What made the painting business the business that you chose?
yeah, also a good question. So I have a friend who has a full-time job, but
Okay.
paints on the side. And he
Okay.
painted our whole house, and he's painted a lot of our friends' house, and he just does it as, in a past life worked for
Sure.
a painting company, and a great painter.
Sure.
And so I've leveraged him a little bit, and,
Sure.
and saw the work that he can do, and he's been a big help, and
Okay. So he's your subcontractor. This
yeah,
guy.
he's exactly.
Okay. So let's talk numbers. What is the percentage split?
So I'm still working on exactly how to split it. The way that it's being divvied out, at least on the first job and going forward to the second job, is he has a number that he wants to get to on a per day basis. He wants
Interesting.
to make 350 a day, give or take. And I want to have him as sort of a project manager managing the other subcontractors. So on the job we just did, we had other guys there. We were paying them 250 a day. My friend was more of a manager role, managing the day to day. And you asked about how do I ensure the quality of production. So my partner is a guy that I trust and can maintain that.
Okay, so is this a partnership or is this a friend? Is that like legitimate or is
It's
it?
not a partnership in the sense that he has an ownership of the business. It's more of a partnership in the sense that we both have a common goal here. That's
Okay,
to grow this business, make more
grow
money.
the
The better
business.
I do, the more jobs we get, the more he's making,
Interesting.
and I'm
So
taking off the top.
okay, which is good. So you didn't give any equity out of your
Right.
business. You're just giving profit away, which
Exactly.
is okay because for you this isn't your main source of income. But where I like looking at this situation, and then part of this is what if I were in this situation right now, and I'm seeing you, and I know that you probably, and I'm going to use this analogy, like you're in this like glass container and you want to like explode and go out there and sell jobs and like because you know the upside of your own business, you're seeing it through just this one job, and you're going to start seeing it over and over and over and over again. And I think that there will be a time where you actually do want to make that decision to transition, because the reality of it is if you want to be completely hands off, and I've dealt with people that actually bought franchises, and I might have talked to you, was it
Yeah.
you who I talked about
Yep.
maybe buying a franchise? Because what you're doing essentially is you're trying to create the systems and be independent of the systems, which means that I think that this person has to be maximized to do both roles of sales and project management, because I know he has sales experience. So is he going out and doing the estimates too, or are you responsible for the estimates?
So I'm ultimately going to be responsible for the estimates. I mean, I'm consulting with him, especially
Okay.
because I need to estimate how much time it's going to take, and I'm still learning that part of the
Gotcha.
business. So I mean, I gave my first quote last night by myself. I
Okay.
called him right after just to get a sense of the
Like how it
range.
went. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
But the idea, the goal is for me to be doing all the sales and marketing. I find a lead, I go give the estimate, I say this is the price, and then my partner is, he's doing 2-3 days of work. I'm paying him that premium to be that project manager and manage the
Gotcha.
contractors.
Okay. So let me ask you this. You got this guy throughout the day and you're paying him $350 a day. It's good pay for a day.
Yep.
Okay. If he's in a supervision role, especially if you found another subcontractor team, he's not working with them. He's just overseeing them. he's probably not hands-on at that point, is he?
What do you mean?
Is he physically painting
Right now he is.
with the crew?
Yeah.
Okay. So also let me ask you this, and you probably, I would say, let's start here. How many estimates are you doing in a week?
So again, this is
Very
probably
bare
our
minimum.
third week live, and we've
Okay.
been doing 1 or 2 estimates a week.
1 to 2 estimates. When it gets to 4 to 8, it's going to be hard to fit those estimate times in your schedule because I assume, are you working from home?
I am.
Okay. So you're able to pop out of the house whenever you need to and go?
Fortunately, yes, for now.
Perfect. Is that going to change once COVID's done?
Yeah, once COVID gets back to normal, I
You're gonna go
normally
back to the
travel
office?
for my job, and yeah, it's going to be more limited.
Back to the office. Okay. So what I would think of is like this person, number one, your paint knowledge is probably a 0.5 on a scale of 10.
Yep.
You've admitted that, which is okay. You're going to learn as you go. What you really need to do is you need to increase your closing ratio. And really, when you go and do an estimate, you're only selling your ability to be great at customer service and your ability to promise this excellent job.
Right.
Unfortunately, that's great and all, but if you get somebody in there that sells product knowledge, and I'll give you an example. I had a landscaping guy. This guy was telling me about the tree that he was going to put in, the type of mulch he was going to put in, the different things he needs to do, and he had the eye, bro. You know, that eye when he's looking at the things, you need to do that. So your guy has that eye. And I think what happened for me is in early stages, I felt like I had to be there and do these estimates. I had to be the one because all I knew was sales and marketing. That was my comfort zone. And I built my business off of that. But then when COVID hit, I realized that I don't need to physically be doing the estimates. So what I did was I created a role in my company. I actually have the supervisor who's doing what your guys do. What's his name? So I can refer
Mike.
to him. So I have the supervisor who's doing what Mike is doing. He's actually painting some jobs to help us stay afloat. He jumps between both crews to make sure the jobs are going smooth. He is responsible for setting up the job. So I usually have him there on the first day. He's responsible for doing the final punch around, walk around, to make sure the customer is 100% satisfied. This is the guy I call 8 times a day if I need something, making sure everything's going smooth, which if you grow, that's what's going to happen. I opened up a role for him to go and do all the estimates, not sell the jobs. He's estimating. So estimating, totally different aspects of the business. Estimating is measurements, pictures, answering questions. The estimating is part of the ultimate sale. But I piggybacked off the value that he built when I made the phone call from the office. I was able to continue that momentum. So as soon as he left, what did I do? Picked up the phone. Hey, how did Chris do? Okay, great. Now I'm going to pick up where I'm best at. And I'm not driving in the car to keep 2 crews busy, to do 7 figures in revenue. We do about 70 to 80 estimates in a month. Okay. If you think about that, if each estimate requires me to drive 50 miles, that's 4,000 to 5,000 miles a month, which if 50 miles, you're talking about a ton of extra time that I've now saved, which to me isn't that big of a deal, but to you is huge. So you're not only going to maximize Mike's dollar that you're paying him for actually having him show up to the jobs, you're going to create a level of trust because you know that you're not going to be physically present on the job, but Mike is, and they already know Mike because he was there to do the estimate.
Right.
Estimate. You see Absolutely. What I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's funny you say that. So the first job we did, the first few estimates, Mike came with, and I think it was crucial to have him there because he's able to give a more accurate estimate than I am. He can, and the job I quoted yesterday was relatively straightforward, but a few of them had, the walls a little slanted, their spackle work, like it was a little bit more involved and a little bit above my head. So he was able to share that product knowledge and make us, out to be experts, which is huge. And then when the job starts, they know this is the guy Mike who I met during the estimate, and there's that cohesion. I think you make some really good points. I think I have a little bit of I don't think I'm an over controlling person, but I want.
It's your comfort zone. That's what
I also want to be able to sell there too, because I've been going in with like $10 to $15 like Dunkin' gift cards and a little like write up, a handwritten thank you for the the opportunity, and really trying to like stand out because and wear nice clothes, not a suit, but just wear jeans and clean clothes and everything, and really be professional.
Sure. So and I'm coming from my point of view, again, I know how hard it was to divorce what I was best at, but you have to remember, you and I are building a relationship right now over a video chat. Okay. It's the same emotional intensity as it would be if I was standing there, not as much, but The phone is just a little bit less than that. And you work on the phone. You and I both know that majority of the sales that you're doing in your software company are done virtually. You never meet the people you actually sell to. So you have to realize that what you're trying to do, you have by nature the need to overcompensate because you're usually competing with other software companies who know the game. You have to remember, in the painting business, the standards are so low. Showing up on time is literally, you've already set yourself apart. If you buy Mike a polo with your company on it, you're already setting yourself apart. So again, the goal would be to free you from that, because ultimately you're going to find yourself in a position where you're ultimately going to have to do it, because you're going to have to go back to the brick and mortar of your company, and they're not going to be okay with you running and doing painting estimates. And you don't want to tell people no. They're going to say, okay, listen, I only have 1 o'clock available, because other people do work. They're not going to be able to fit it within your after work schedule or maybe your before work schedule. You're going to be driving yourself nuts. Right? So plan ahead. That's all I'm saying is plan ahead. Give Mike the full authority to go to the jobs, take pictures, ask questions, give him a structured set of questions he needs to ask. One question that I have Chris ask, he has no sales experience, but we haven't missed a beat. Never sold anything in his life. Okay. He's just, but he's a very personable person. He's worked with our crews. He can answer any question at all that comes up. Great. Okay. So one question I have him ask or relay back to me is, what is one thing you learned about the customer that is not related to the project? So he has somebody that says, oh, this is a retired NYPD police officer, because really what sales is about building a connection. I want him to hang in there. I want him to ask questions. Oh, this person doesn't have a good relationship
up or whatever.
Yeah. This person doesn't have a good relationship with their daughter and says that they missed their daughter. So that means that he connected with them. And when I see that, I can actually piggyback on some of those responses and say, oh, Chris said you got in a car accident a couple of weeks ago and you're recovering. So we want to make sure that if we paint your master bedroom or your house, we're going to paint your master bedroom first so you can get back into that room. Right. So however you set up those parameters will allow you to do what you do best. And I'm saying that maybe for 1 to 2 estimates, it works. But again, if you're trending toward going back to work, you can actually create this system ahead of time. That's I would say my best advice for what you have going on currently.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but again, I know you in the beginning stages of your business, you want to be there. You want to build that relationship, but being strategic and being a hands-off owner, which if you were going to quit your job, I'd say definitely, man, get in the field, do those estimates on the spot. And again, if you need the work and you know that you're going to close it on the spot, are you providing the estimates on the spot?
For the most part, yeah. I didn't do it last night, but
okay.
I'm trying to, yeah.
Trying to?
Is that what you do?
In the beginning, yes. Every estimate I did was on the spot, of course, because you have the ability to handle objections. You can close.
Yeah. How does this compare to other estimates?
Right.
Exactly.
Have you ever sold anything face-to-face before, or has most of your sales been remote? Like, have you ever?
No, I've done face-to-face too, yeah.
Okay, so I've done car sales, and I've seen it too many times to not accept it as truth that when someone's in front of you, even if they say no, you have the ability to overcome those objections a lot more than somebody being able to hang up the phone, not answer you, not respond to your emails. So I use it like this, but we have a good enough lead time to where I could shoot out, we could do 80 estimates. I could shoot them all out at the profit margin I want to hit. And I can shoot them all out virtually at this point and be okay with losing 75% of them. And if the 25% of them say yes, which on average they do, because my ratio's dropped since I'm doing a lot of things virtually now, we're able to maintain what we need to in order to stay busy. So that's kind of a lot farther ahead than where you're at. But looking at the trajectory, it's like anything, dude. Like I'll say, like if you're flying an airplane, if you don't get that trajectory right in the beginning, you're going to end up somewhere. And I'm looking at where you're heading. And if your reputation is good, if you get good Google reviews, which I'm sure is a focus for you.
Yep.
Yeah. So eventually people are going to start finding you. They're going to want to work with you. It's going to happen, dude. It's the law of averages. You look, every house needs to be painted inside and out. So it's like, you're going to get calls. You're going to be successful. Can you maintain that success when you're not fully in the business?
Right.
So these franchises hire people just like Mike to do both project management and what I'm telling you to have Mike do, but they don't, but normally they have somebody close the deal. And I'm saying that it would be better for you to actually follow up on his behalf.
Right. That makes sense.
And do the closing over the phone. And usually when I do it, I send the estimate and then I call immediately after.
You do. Yeah.
Yeah. So I could see when they open it.
You can see when they open it. Right.
So I'll be like, hey, did you receive it? I know they saw it.
Yeah.
I wait until they open it. And then,
Yeah.
because if I call them, oh, did you get it? No, we didn't get it yet. Okay. There's nothing to talk about, but I have to make sure they opened it first. And I say, okay, do you have any questions? Oh, well, not yet. Or and a lady the other day, oh, it's too high. I sat on the phone and told her why it wasn't too high, and she hired us.
Hmm.
So, just hanging in there.
Yep. Yep.
So what questions do you have? Is there any feedback you have for me in terms of like directionally? I'm sure you have a lot. Maybe you don't remember them quite yet because you're in the very early stages of this, but I've been through it all, dude. And I'm
Yeah,
happy
I
to
think
share.
a lot of the things I need to iron out is just around the communication on the job. I mean,
Okay.
so this past weekend I had like the subcontractors calling me. I had Mike calling me.
So
I feel
why
like
were the subcontractors calling you? Did you find them? Did you hire them, or did
I
Mike
did.
hire them? So
No, I did.
they know you.
Yep.
Where'd you find them?
I put out an ad on Craigslist and got a ton
Wow.
of hits and just interviewed a handful. And
Wow.
yeah, I mean, I still need to refine the process. I still need to really. So, oh yeah, so we were supposed to start on Thursday of last week. We did start on Thursday. Mike and I told him, another guy, and talked to the guy on. I did a bunch of interviews and phone
Right.
conversations. This guy, he has experience, everything. Um, Talked to him on the previous Sunday, 4 or 5 days before. Hey, you good for Thursday? Here's the address. Great.
Sure.
I talked to him on Wednesday, the day before.
Yep.
I said, hey, we're on for tomorrow, right? I said, what kind of, I brought the guys breakfast. What kind of breakfast sandwich do you want? You want a bagel? Great.
Nice.
Okay. And no
Well,
showed. Nothing.
it's
Which
just
I
got,
knew, which
yeah.
I know is a risk. Like I know that is a potential to happen.
Yeah, but
Um,
dude, the stress alone that causes is worth investing in loyal people.
oh yeah. And I think that'll come with time, like
Sure.
learning who is,
Yeah.
and then I
So
found,
are they, this is a different crew than who is working for you now.
well, this one guy, I was looking for somebody to help out Mike, two
Gotcha.
guys for this.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
And I interviewed a bunch of guys, and
Yeah.
this guy seemed good. He had great experience. He was well spoken, everything. And then listen, I don't know if he got another job that was better or whatever. Send him a couple texts, send him a couple calls.
What were
That's
you,
it.
what did you promise in pay wise? Just
Two
curious.
fifty a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yep.
And he no showed on 250 a day?
No showed. Yeah.
Dude, you're seriously overpaying for daily labor.
Am I?
Absolutely. Because at that point, you have to understand what you should be doing if you're doing it like that on a 1-to-1 ratio,
Yeah.
where you're saying, well, you're not looking for a company, you're looking for individuals.
Yeah.
250 a day, bro. What's that breakdown hourly?
$30 an hour for a full day.
Wow, dude, $30 an hour. Like, that's insane. I know you're in New York, so it's a
Yeah. Yeah. We're in a higher cost of
I
living
get
market
it,
here.
but if you're going to invest $30 an hour on an individual who has no loyalty to you whatsoever,
Mm-hmm.
it's worth it to find an employee and shove them under Mike.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's so worth it because you're going to pay 25 for an employee that has 100% vested interest in showing up for your company. Now, again, the sub model is beautiful it's beautiful when you look at it from a company that's crushing it with subs. They've built relationships for years. They
Yeah.
know exactly, like my father-in-law is a subcontractor of our company and he does crown molding. I've never been to one of his jobs. It's phenomenal. I can sell it with my eyes closed. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That is subcontracting at its finest. But if you're in a position where you have no relationships, which you really don't yet, you have Mike.
I have one.
Right. So you have Mike who knows the business back and forth. He just needs two helpers under him. You know this, okay?
Yeah.
Who you could pay a high level helper who can run the job. That's what I would look for. Somebody who can run the job, who knows spraying, cutting, rolling, the whole nine, good personality. Pay him 25 to 28 an hour. You'll get top tier talent up in New York. I think the average is 22 to 25.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, I figured especially early on, I was hedging against this happening by I think I realized that I was overpaying a little bit, but
right. But
I
it
figured
doesn't
like
matter. But you're looking for subs, dude. These guys can go and paint their own house and make $2,000. It might take them 2 weeks. So you're looking for subs and trying to pay them a employee rate. They're thinking 250 a day. I can go paint a set of kitchen cabinets for $4,000. It'll take me a month, and I'll work for myself.
right.
But if you market looking for employees, these people are used to that steady paycheck. not only are they used to it, they've either made the mistake of trying to go into business by themselves and realize how stressful it was. They never did it right. So they've already accepted the fact that it's actually better to find steady employment, make $800 a week over the course of a month, not have to worry about finding jobs, not have to worry about customer service aside from on-job customer service. Okay. It's because you marketed it wrong. You're looking for subs. So you give a sub $250, that's nothing. Right. But if you give an employee $250 a day, they know that that's cheddar.
Right.
You know,
I just don't have the steady volume yet.
You'll create it when you know that you have Mike to take care of. So you're obviously motivated to find more work. But let me tell you something. You and I both know if the product is good, the sales sells itself.
Sure.
So you know that you don't really have full confidence in your product right now. But once you know that you have Mike, you have Joe, who's phenomenal. He does a great job. And you have Billy, who's learning, and you're paying him $16 an hour. You have this crew of 3. You know they're going to do a phenomenal job. You're going to sell so confidently, knowing that they're going to show up on time, knowing that Mike's not going to be stressed because he has 2 guys he can count on. He can do a quick estimate, come back, and he's building a team underneath him. Then at that point, bro, sales is cake, bro. Because you're confident, and you can't. It's hard to sell when you know you're lying to people. Like, how can you honestly, like, it's hard for you. Hey, when are the painters going to come? Dude, you're probably like, in your head, you're like, I hope they show up at, you know, right. I hope Mike doesn't have to paint this house by himself, you know, right? Yeah. So it's worth it, dude. It's worth it. Okay. You know, to get those employees, and you're going to build such a team and a culture and this people that have your back. You know, I have 9 employees. I know exactly what that's like. I did the sub route just like you did.
Really?
Ran into the same issues. Yeah. I mean, you know, so that's something that, again, it would be worth the investment in looking into. You can use subs to keep you going, but once you get those employees, dude, you're going to be so much more motivated to find work, you know?
Right. Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. Cause these guys are counting on you.
Yeah.
It's like the baby, bro.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I just had a baby too, man. The work intensity went up a little bit.
Oh yeah.
So, but I think that'll wrap us up, man. Did you get something out of this today, bro?
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. I appreciate it.
Awesome. And I hope to connect with you again, and hopefully this won't be the last time, you know, we connect. And, you know, dude, you're on your way, man. What's the name of your company?
The Easy Painters.
Easy Painters? I think you were working on the name, right?
Yeah.
Easy Painters. I like that.
Yeah.
Easy Painters, easy process, you know, easy communication.
That's right.
Great. Hey, I really hope you enjoyed the Breakthrough series. Hey, if you're interested in jumping in and allowing me to dive in and help you break down some barriers in your own business, please reach out to me. I'd love to have you on the next Breakthrough series session where we will dive in. We will figure out what's going on in your business. I will give you actionable advice, and you'll be able to use that advice and take your business to the next level. So if you're interested in that, reach out to me on Instagram. However you need to reach out to me, find me, and we will set up a time for me to coach you through the barriers stopping you from growth.